Two. Hey, there we are. Hey, crafters, welcome in to Guys Craft 2. As you may be aware, I was on vacation this past week, and it appears that I am still somewhat on vacation. It has just been too crazy. So sorry about the mix up in times earlier today. Thankfully, I have a good friend um, who his quilt has met the world. And he reached out and goes, "Do you realize you're supposed to be live right now?" And I did not. So changing time zones from West Coast to East Coast is just crazy. And I am so sorry that I missed you all earlier. Believe it or not, I was actually quilting and knee deep in threads and fuzzies when Russ reached out and texted me. So tell you what, it's just been so crazy. So, hey, Joydy, thanks for dropping in. Hey, BBMK, thanks for being here tonight. Jean and Jeannie, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. As you could tell, we're back in entering the world of reality. I'm not sure what all that is going to really mean for us. I know I have to go back to work tomorrow, and I can't say I'm exactly excited to go back to work, but I am kind of excited to go back to somewhat normal schedule. It has just been wild. It is I enjoyed being at the beach with the kids so much. We had such a good time. Um, Unfortunately, my energy does not match their energy, and they have lots and lots of energy, and it was um it was a great 7 days, but it was a long 7 days. Plus, I need to go back to work because I think I'm completely broke. I had no idea how much money I was spending and did not need to do shopping. My son-in-law is a enabler because he took me to one outlet mall. So on my own, right, the first day before the family got there, we went to the quilting at the beach and met those ladies and spent way entirely too much money. Hey, Sally, welcome in. Um, and then my son-in-law, the enabler, took me to the outlet mall, which I did not really need anything, but somehow I found stuff at the Crocs store, Sunglass Hut, and a few other places. And then we always do Broadway at the beach or Broadway at the boardwalk, something like that. But it's Paula Deen. How do you not do Paula Deen, right? And Paula Deen absolutely has an amazing bourbon sauce glaze to put on chicken in that. I'm just too lazy to order it, which is kind of crazy because I order everything else. But um, wanted to go to Paula Deen and pick some of that up. Wanted some new Tervis cups for the Shady Pines home, um, and did all of that, and then ended up taking it all to UPS and spending entirely too much money, and then turned around and he takes me to the other outlet mall in North Myrtle Beach. I'm like, dude, I just took all this stuff to UPS. I can't go shopping for more stuff, and yet I did, and I found the Greg Norman store and a few other things, and it just kept going and going. Hey, Barb, welcome in. Thanks for joining tonight. Joydy, thank you. I think the kids are absolutely adorable. They are 6 and 4 years old. They can absolutely be a handful. I had no idea whatsoever how big a ham my granddaughter is. It was so funny because apparently she has her mother record her giving makeup tips. And of course, they don't go anywhere but on mommy's phone, right? So my daughter now is overly, or not my daughter, my granddaughter is overly thrilled that she is now a YouTube star, has been on live. The other, family that never watches my channel all of a sudden watch the channel because they want to see the grandkids, and that's fine too. So we just make it all work. And look at Russ. When do we get the unboxing of your thousands of dollars spent? I did not spend thousands. I'm hoping we'll see when the credit card statement comes in, but I did not spend thousands. Um, UPS doesn't get here till Tuesday, but I did find several boxes sitting on the porch when I got here. And so one of those is still um, um, over here. I thought maybe we'd open it tonight and see what John ordered because I think a lot of it was pre-order stuff, and I forget that I pre-ordered stuff for like Christmas and Halloween and that like back in January, and then it's not like really fair that they 6 months later ship it to me. So then I forget what I ordered, and so I just keep buying more. So it's just kind of crazy, but I did get that. I did actually quilt and finished a quilt top. So I thought I would show everyone my quilt top. Barb, thank you. Ava is she's a handful, but love my grandkids. I just hate that I only get to see them a couple of times a year. But I tell you, making the time change coming home, I realized that I'm not a child anymore, and a lot harder making a 3 hour time change flying across the country than I thought. But I finally finished the University of Louisville quilt top. This is for my niece for Christmas. And I got all the borders on and everything. And I think she is going to love it. It is absolutely not perfect. And you know what? That's what makes it even more special because now she'll know that it was made with love because it's just not perfect. And I'm not perfect, life's not perfect, and such is life, but it will be done. I do need to figure out what I want to um, quilt it with. I'd like to find a really cool pattern. I might actually quilt this like with basketballs or footballs or something because she's always been a sports fan, and I thought that might look cute to go with it. Um, but I don't know. Like everything else, it will get folded up very nicely. It will get added to the pile of quilt tops. I think this takes me to number 17. And I'm hoping um, maybe soon to make Gracie over there start working. I'm thinking, honestly, that what I might do um, is try to at least start long arming once every Saturday or once every other Saturday after we get back from Shady Pines up in July 4th. So I'm going up there for a long weekend. Taking off Tuesday night, going to be up there Wednesday through back here on Monday night. So I'm spending the whole holiday weekend up there. And I thought, you know what? When I get back, that will be a good time to really start kind of forcing myself to get some of this stuff done. So, but I am excited. I actually got a quilt top done. I am going to show you the other one I'm working on. I thought maybe I'd work on that tonight during the live and get that finished for the husband boyfriend of my niece. And then just go from there. Now I got to figure out what's the next project I want to do. So I've got a few Halloween things that I want to work on. So I'm thinking it's time for Halloween. So we'll see. Thanks, Russ. Thanks, Barb. I'm really excited how it turned out. I think the white really did help kind of block it and make it pop a little bit. So I am anxious to get that done and see what that looks like. So I am very excited. So natural tendencies is here lurking while she does meal prep. I used to do meal prep on Sunday night, and I haven't done that for a while. But we used to make oatmeal for breakfast during the week. We made some type of chicken and something for lunches for the 4 or 5 days, and then did something for dinner a couple of nights a week, usually the first part of the week. So we knew when we came home, we already had dinner ready. And I'll be honest, I think we just got lazy during COVID and really not got back into that routine. Plus, I've never been a leftover eater. So, like, even tonight, I'll make tacos for dinner. I bought that stuff today and had Walmart deliver it. I'll make tacos after the live, so that'll be our dinner. But I'm just not much into having leftover. Oh, look, she's making fajitas and cabbage soup. Oh, I love fajitas. I could eat Mexican like every day. It's so crazy. So let's see. I will say I do have a couple of posts coming out this week. I did do some other unboxings. I got Villa Rosa Designs, Open Gate Quilts sent me their quarterly project box. So a few others. So I did get some work on some videos today. I'm finishing the editing, and those will be posted this week. But I did get one last big box that I thought maybe we would just open together, and then I thought, okay, maybe I should have opened this before because I don't know if always opening stuff, especially on a live, because I've never done open box on a live, if that's the smartest thing, especially when you don't know what is in the box. I know it is quilting stuff because I know who it's from, but beyond that, I don't know. So we will all learn together what John bought that he didn't need, but that he thought he could not live without. My niece taught me a few years ago the philosophy that, you know what, we'll just go back to work tomorrow and we'll make more money and we'll pay for things. And I do believe in helping to stimulate our economy. I probably help a little more than I should, but it is what it is. Life is short, and Um, I don't believe in I don't believe in excess, if that makes sense, but I also just don't believe in living too restricted, which I may as I'm trying to get to retirement. I am learning that I do need to learn to be a little bit more restricted on my shopping, but um, we'll see. If Russ shows up for QuiltCon, I'm sure that he will encourage some bad behavior at QuiltCon because he was bad at QuiltCon. And I actually rented a hotel room. So if you're looking to come to QuiltCon 2025, the information is all posted. You can't register for anything until July 31st. I am not going to probably. I know I'm not signing up for classes because it's just not. I'm just not interested in carting stuff down or sitting there all day. It's just not my job. It's not what I'm going to want to go for. I thought about signing up for a few of the lecture series, but then when I look at some of the prices of those, I'm not even sure if I want to do that. Um, so we'll see. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I did rent a hotel room, which is breaking my heart because hotels down there for QuiltCon are ridiculous. But I just couldn't. I just don't want to fight the traffic going down every morning and trying to park, pay for parking. Time you do all that, it's like, okay, really? I mean, I just want to be able to get up, have a couple of cups of coffee. Yes, because me, a couple of cups of coffee. And my doctor told me I have to quit saying that I have a couple of cups of coffee since I drink probably 18-ounce cups. Um, so that I'm not allowed to call that a cup anymore. But what does he know? He only went to medical school. But anyways, I want to get up and have my coffee and that, walk over, enjoy the show. I'm debating if I'm going to go all day Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I did reserve the hotel for Thursday, Friday, and I think Saturday night. So I'm still up in the air a little bit, but I'm thinking that I'll probably work half a day Thursday and then head over after lunch on Thursday and do part of the show or just kind of get the feel of the land on Thursday. Plan to be at the show all day Friday and at the show Saturday. And if you plan on coming, it would be awesome for us to meet. I know BBMK is local, and I know her and her husband are going to be at the QuiltCon because there's no possibility that she's not going to be part of QuiltCon. And so we would both, all three of us, love to meet you and love to get to put names and faces together in that. So I think that would be a blast. There's plenty to do in downtown Phoenix that is still somewhat safe. And we can be smart about where we go, what we do. If we all just want to go grab a cup of coffee, something a little bit stronger, or even just hang around the convention center lobby for a while and just chat in that. So we'll figure that out as time goes on. Russ likes to say he's not a bad influence, but he he's sneaky about it. That's what makes him a bad influence. But you know what? I would not trade my YouTube family for anything. And if it wasn't for some of you all, I don't know some days if I would even want to jump online or do things. So let's see. So let's see what came in this box that I couldn't live without. So As you may have seen already, I had purchased the Riley Blake um, Patch Jacks. I really, really, really like this for some reason for Halloween. So I ended up actually buying a second one. So I do have two of these. So don't go, Lord, he's done. He's bought so much he keeps forgetting what he bought. I actually did buy this because I want to do, I think, for my daughter because she likes the happy, fun Halloween. And of course, the grandkids love that kind of stuff. So I did buy a second one because I knew I wasn't going to give it up myself, and I just went on and grabbed a second one so I could probably do one for her as well. Hey, Katie Crafts, thanks for joining tonight. I so appreciate you dropping in. Um, BBMK says she'll be there and tell me to tuck and roll and leave me. We will have such a good time. And if your husband has to run and get a cup of coffee, I'm sure we'll be able to still occupy a couple of days. So we'll figure it all out. Um, Natural Tendency says I only cut one onion and now I can't see. Hey, Katrina, good evening. Thanks for dropping in tonight. Thanks for being part of the live. So we are just talking about more stuff that was sitting on the front porch when I got home and just stuff that I knew I just absolutely could not live without. I actually bought pedal pads. I don't know if you all have seen these. I bought these for all of my different machines. They are by Gypsy Quilter, and they are just basically sticky pads to keep your foot pedal from rolling around on the floor. I actually did um, try to use some of the shelf lining to do it, but I thought these might be a little bit better. The problem is we only have hardwood floors in this house, so because I only have the hardwood floors, it makes my pedals want to slide all the time, and it just drives me nuts. Oh, Katrina says she finished the wedding quilt on Wednesday and expecting the backing to arrive tomorrow. That is so exciting. Congratulations. We like when we get our quilt tops done. I did watch a bunch of videos on the plane going and coming since it's a 4-hour flight flying all over the country and watched about flange binding because someone told me that if I do flange binding, that I guess that's more acceptable in a lot of the quilt shows. So I had no clue to what that was, but of course, Jenny at Missouri Star Quilt, I had a video about it along with several others, and I will say I'm very very intrigued. Really like the idea that it's kind of like that two tone. So I'll take a look. We'll see if I end up doing some of that with binding on some of the quilts in that. So I will be taking a look at that. I also bought Riley Blake's um, back quarter squares. So this one is called Texture. So you can see that it does have texture, and it came in a rainbow of color. So of course they only give me one purple, and of course I'm a huge purple fan, but I like that coral, that pink, some of the different colors, the yellow, the greens. So I did grab two of those because those kind of appealed to me. I know those are brand new, so I was kind of anxious to get those. I found this traditional peppermint lane. Um, I'm always been a snowman freak, and I don't know why. There's just something about snowmen, and this is called Peppermint Lane. So I found this quilt kit, and I had pre-ordered this. So I just thought that was too cute. So if you're into the snowman and you like the snowman, this comes with the pattern and came with all the fabrics. So again, something else. And let's see what else John got. Oh, John bought Hoffman Gold Metallic Fat Quarters. There's 18 fat quarters in here. Never seen fat quarters folded. Oh, look, Rusty, you want to build a snowman? Oh, somebody's watched too many Disney movies. Well, Sally, we can make sure that your coffee has enough Kahlua that it's an enjoyable cup. Gold metallic fat quarters, and I've never seen. Oh, I guess they're photo triangular, but the way they stacked them in here gives the appearance of stars. I had never seen a fat quarter pack put together this way, so that was a little different. So I got one set of those, and these were called those are Hoffman gold metallic fat quarters. And of course, if you buy the gold, you got to turn around and buy the silver. So I bought the silver ones as well. So more silver gray, black. This has got green, blue, and red, where the gold has got that black gold, green, gold, red, and white gold. So really a interesting color combination on both of these. So I will figure out at some point a project for those. I really need to get my Villa Rosa designs out and get them going. I talk about Villa Rosa all the time and how I like that their patterns are so quick and simple, and yet um, I haven't done one of theirs for a while. And then I bought another crocheting book because I have about 200 skeins of yarn when Joanne ran yarn on sale a while back. And I have decided that I would sit and crochet at night while I watch TV. And it did finally make it into my knitting bag. We call it a crochet bag, I guess. Um, but then I haven't done anything else with it. So again, we'll figure it all out. Life has just been busy. Life has had a lot going on. And you know what? I have learned that there's always tomorrow. It was funny because somebody at work was asking me because I've been 2 team members short and things have been really crazy at work. And I had to explain to one of the guys that worked for me that work is work and that I have for many, many years in my career looked for the Keebler elf that comes in at nights and builds the shoes and does the cobbler for you and all that. And they have never in my 30 years of professional work ever shown up. So I do what I can in a 9 or 10 hour day, and then I go home. And I suggest that my staff, my team carries that same philosophy. I don't mind giving a company um, their due diligence. I don't. I'm not hung up that I have to work 8 hours, but after 9.5 hours, I really start shutting down. It's just too much when you have a mental job. And you know what? I have learned that it's going to be there tomorrow. And if it's going to be there tomorrow, I'm not going to kill myself tonight. And what I have learned is the people I'm working uh, on the project for or trying to get stuff done, guess what? They're already gone and they're home with their family having dinner while I'm still trying to get caught up in the office. So it just doesn't work for me so much anymore. Not as much with this company. This company does believe a whole lot more in life balance, but at the end of the day, we have to do what we think is the right thing when it comes to balancing things. Sally says 200 is an awful lot. It is. It's in 5 different um, tubs, all stored very neat and nice. Jody said, next step is to put it on the couch. It was on the couch, and then I had to move it for the cleaning lady to make sure it was out of the way. And then it ended up now somewhere in the closet. So I have no idea where that is. So I will have to take a look. I do agree, Katie, those are too cute to unwrap. I do think those were really cool. Both would make beautiful sampler quilts. I have to figure out what I want to do with those. I really, of course, who doesn't like glitter, right? So anything that's sparkly and glittery, I just can't kind of walk away from. Um, Silk Stitch Quilt with Marty is here. Thank you. Welcome. I appreciate you being part of the channel and part of my live tonight. And thank you. My granddaughter is a big ham, but we did enjoy having her um, on the channel for a couple of days. So I know she'll be very anxious to know when she'll get to be part of it again, and that will be a while. Um, and to be honest, Katrina, I don't have room for it either. I have no idea where I'm going to put half of this. So I have got some new bookshelves coming. I bought some new bins, but I really do need to figure out how to logically get this stuff put together. So I was telling earlier, I got the University of Louisville quilt done. I do want to work on this a little bit tonight while we're on the live. The last thing that was in the box that I had not shown you yet was another Benardex canvas black and boo with glow in the dark fabric. And this is a table runner that measures 15-inch by 51. So it will probably be my next project now. And see, you all, I know people make fun of me sometimes because I do buy a lot, but look how precious this is. If you're a Halloween freak, look at the witch's hat, the cute ghost saying boo, the little poison bottle. These are just absolutely adorable. So this may actually jump closer to the front of the line. The worst thing about it is it's all going to be hand cut applique, which is not my friend, but we may get that figured out. But the fabrics in here are just adorable. Look at the fabrics that it came with. The black ghost and the black and white cobwebs and the purple cobwebs and the orange cobwebs and the boo and the skeleton. I mean, how do you not? So that may be the next project. So I may end up having to work on that next. And I wouldn't mind doing a couple of simpler things to kind of feel like I'm accomplishing some things. I am hoping over the July 4th weekend at the park home to maybe start uh, one or two of the blocks of the month. Plus, I have that other quilt up there that I need to finish, but I did realize on the live that I had one piece that I did not sew very well. So I do need to get out that stupid um, seam ripper, take that apart, make sure that I'm going to be happy with it and put it all back together. But we'll probably not do that on a live, but we'll figure it out. We'll see how it goes. Sally says, Marty says she knew I would have a great haul after my trip. Yes, it is just too crazy. I need to learn to pace myself, but we will get there. Sally says I don't crochet during the summer, too hot and sticky. If the humidity kicks in, I make beanies for Alaska homeless. Oh, I bet those are absolutely precious. How cute would those be? I have not done anything like that. I have done Granny Smith squares is about all I've ever done in crochet. Oh, Katrina said, "Oh no, I never even thought about glow in the dark thread. I may have to see, that's enabling me. Now I have to go back online. Now I'm going to have to find some glow in the dark thread, but I have not done anything with glow in the dark thread. It's funny, the first two quilts I ever made were 3-yard quilts. They were Halloween quilts, and I made them for both the grandkids. Never even knew about glow in the dark thread back then. Actually hand quilted them on my Bernina 790 at the time. Did all that, and I remember telling my daughter, "I want the kids to use the quilts. I want them to enjoy them. Please do not try to protect them and just lock them away because that's not the point. The whole point is to let the kids enjoy the quilts." And she goes, "Well, I just worry about washing them." I assured her I had so much thread in those quilts that it was not possible for any of those quilts to come apart. So they have enjoyed them. So I like that. Jody said I bought 2 of the fabrics yesterday for a Halloween wall hanging. And see, I do. There is something about Bernitex. I don't know why. They're the ones that had that crazy animal this year with the farm, with the cow and the pig and all that. I have no one to give that kind of stuff to, and yet I had to buy that quilt top and make it. And it's one of the 17 yet to be um, uh, long armed, but we'll get there. All right, give me 1 second. Sorry, guys, I am so dehydrated from travel. It has been crazy. I feel like all I've done for the last 5 days is just drink bottle after bottle of water, and I still can't get hydrated enough. Um, Katrina says, "Don't call Jack the Ripper stupid. He might do something bad to your fabric." Yes, I am learning, right, to be careful with that. Um, I a quilt top not too long ago that I got more. Somehow I managed to rip the fabric and not the seams. So I am learning to be a little bit more patient. Oh, Russ said Glide sells glow in the dark thread. I'll have to take a look because I do. I typically use Aurifil or Glide. I've used Wonderfill. I've tried every other thing out there. And the two that I have found that my machines like and that we all get along with is Aurifil or Glide. And I will tell you personally, because I'm not a old quilter, I'm just one of those that kind of hack my way through life. I really, really like my Glide polyester, um, probably more than Aurifil, um, but it really just depends. Interesting enough, when we had the commercial embroidery business, we did everything with um, Madeira back in the day, and we only used polyester threads, and my machines loved it. They ran like clockwork, and we never had issues. So I will have to look at getting some Glide or Glide glow in the dark thread. So thank you for that hint. That is very helpful. Sally's been making cooling neck wraps, some for her HVAC guy and his crew, and her guy for when he hikes and goes fishing. Yeah, I've seen those. I have not done any. You got to remember, I'm not a sewer, so I've never sewn. And I'm assuming when you're talking about Sally, when you're talking about the cooling neck wraps, those are sewn. Those wouldn't be crocheted. I wouldn't think. Oh, BBMK says, no joke. I just pulled out the AC unit spec book from the vent. It just, you just never know where people are going to put things. Oh, look, Joey says she bought that quilt pattern because of me. See, so Russ, I am now becoming the bad influence. So it's just not always about you. Now I'm going to be the bad influence. Natural Tendency says it makes her sad that so much crafting stuff that you unused because there aren't enough hours a day. And it is true, right? I mean, I've got tons of stuff sitting everywhere, and I'm trying to figure out like which project I want to get to. I've had this silly thing laying out for a couple of weeks because I really, really, really want to get this done because this came with the hanger. And so the hanger is just too adorable. So I definitely want to have that out for Halloween this year. So now it's hanging here at the very front of my pegboard. And then yet I just told you I want to work on that table runner. So we will get it figured out. Um, Trina says she's ripped her share of fabric. I tell you, it's just, you know, it's so much tougher than people think it is. Sally says it's 100% cotton and that it's not hard. It is just time consuming. I am learning everything is time consuming anymore. I need to retire. I have enough to keep me busy. Even if I didn't buy anything, I could probably go for the next 5 years and still have enough to do. Um, Jordy says it's cute just sitting there waiting with everything, but sitting there waiting with everything else, right? It's just so crazy, but it is what it is. I sorry, my mind just went blank. So Stitch with Marty says she quilts polyester thread on her long arm too. Yeah, and now I will say on my long arm, I have only used Glide. That is the only thing that I've used, and I am learning. I love this new Viking machine that I got. But for some reason, it does not like me winding the bobbins. I know Gracie over here, this long arm, does not like me winding bobbins. So I tend to use only pre-wound bobbins, and I don't know if that's because I'm just lazy. If I just got used to that in the commercial business, when we had our embroidery store, I only used pre-wound. But my machines have always run so good on the pre-wound bobbins. So I do tend to use just pre-wound bobbins, but I do use 100% glide on my long arm. And actually, what I've been stitching these quilt tops out in is glide thread. And I don't know, I tend to grab glide a lot. It just seems to run so smooth and clean. And I don't like the fuzzies that you get from cotton. And I know true quilters like that cotton thread. And I know the women at the quilt in my quilt circle get on me all the time for not quilting more with Aurifil. But at the end of the day, it's my quilt. I get to do what I want to do. And right now, I'm not entering a show, so it doesn't matter. Oh, now see, Joydy's going to enable me. Shouldn't tell me, but and what's interesting is I have never shopped soft squares selling cutest black cat in witch's hat sitting on two pumpkins wall hanging. Look at it if you get a chance. And she goes, I know. Yeah, I will have to take a look. I have not shopped soft square, so that would be a new company for me. One of the lives, not lives, but one of the recordings I did this week, I ended up buying stuff from my favorite quilt store. Um, I think I bought these things 6 months ago on pre-order because they do a lot of pre-order stuff. Because I know I've gotten a lot of Grinch from them coming, um, and those, of course, ended up showing up while I was on vacation. Yeah, see, Marty says pre-wound gives her no tension problems. Yep, I totally agree. There's just something about it. Jody says I have more door and wall hangings than I have doors and wall space. Yep, completely can relate to that. Oh, big up BBMK. Tell your kiddos hi. All right, so I am going to sew for a few minutes because I did want to try to get some stuff done tonight. I am really excited that I did get the University of Louisville quilt done. I am to the point now on the Marine that I am ready to put the borders on it. And it was so exciting watching that. So we will be live again next um, Sunday, just as FYI. And then the following Sunday, we will be live from the park home um, up north. So we are excited to get there for the 4th of July and see what all goes on up there. I tell you, coming back to the heat was just kind of crazy. It was only 100 here today and yesterday, which is crazy for us this time of year. It was actually hotter and more miserable down in Myrtle Beach because they have all that humidity and it rained both Saturdays that we were there. It just made everything so muggy. It was just so different. Um, yeah, Katrina says she has free wound and she has been using them for a while. I just, I really keep wanting to do my own and think, oh, okay, I'll just do my own pre-wound bobbins and blah, 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 and it won't be a big deal. And then I realize each and every time that my machine doesn't like them. And I always try to slow the speed down so I'm not winding them too fast because I always feel like that's an issue. And yet, um, that doesn't seem to help, and it just seems to go on, and it just drives me nuts. And as such, it's like, okay, I'm not willing to fight the good fight over saving a few cents. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think you really save that much by winding your own bobbins. And I do buy them by the gross, I guess. So, maybe that's part of it, but it just does make sense to me. and it just saves me so much time and aggravation. And I have enough trouble with the machines. I think my machines get jealous because they just don't get enough John time, and I get that because I wish I could have a lot more machine time. I would love to be able to knock out a bunch more projects to keep things going, faster, smoother. But it just doesn't happen that way, and I still work full time. I feel bad for I can't imagine. I watch some of these women like Stephanie and that who have children at home and they're taking care of the kids and doing that and trying to quilt and trying it's like, wow, some of these folks are just like super busy because I feel like I can't begin to keep up. And yet they're doing, they're working, they're taking care of families, they're doing all that. And man, if I had, my daughter goes, um, she wishes I lived closer because she would love to learn to quilt and sew and do things. But I laugh and I'm like, you've got two kids. I don't know when you think you would have time um, to do more. But yet she would love to learn to quilt and sew. It was interesting. I told her I could help her pick out a nice sewing machine in that, and we would get some things figured out to help her get started on some projects. But ended up we didn't do that last week while we were together on vacation. So we will see. But I don't know. It's always a lot going on. All right. So now I've got one border on. It would be nice. Where are we at? 42 minutes. I may actually get the border, the initial border done on this one. And that would really be nice to think I'm getting that close to having this quilt top done. And because I know you all absolutely have to be worn out watching this. Russ and some of them have done like 6 quilt tops while I've been still working on the same one. And it is what it is. So I can't, it's not a race and it's not a competition, no matter what anyone says. Um, but it's all good at the end of the day, right? Um, Trina said I would wind 10 per quilt. It doesn't make sense to spend that much time when the pre-wound bobbins hold more thread per bobbin. Oh, I don't know. It is just so crazy. It's hotter here in the desert near Palm Springs. My thermometer says 104. This is late August weather. Yes, I will say the heat index in that it's been crazy. Um, my AC here, my new nice unit has been running pretty much nonstop today, even though it's cooler here than it normally is. But I don't know. We will see. I am hoping to make a trip to Palm Springs soon. I have always wanted to go to Palm Springs, get out there and see things. I know they have a big Pride event in November, and I made reservations a couple of years ago. Ended up not getting to go, but I would love to go out to see Palm Springs. Definitely would like to go in February. I think it is when they have the um, the mid-century houses open. So, because I remember I'm old enough that I remember my dad loved um, Dean Martin and the Rat Pack. And I remember my dad would hysterically laugh at Sammy Davis Jr. He loved listening and hearing Sammy Davis and all that group. So I grew up with that. And of course, that gives you Bob Hope. And everything was around Palm Springs and, Bing Crosby and that. And I guess maybe that's where I get some of the love for the mid-century stuff because I do love mid-century. I always have and would definitely love to get out there to see that mid-century tour during the 2 weeks when they open some of those houses and let folks come in and see what's going on in that. So I think that would be fun, and that is definitely on the bucket list. And I didn't realize that Sally's going to be so close out there, but I can't go have coffee with Sally because she only drinks it with lots of Kahlua. So we would have to find something else if we would have the opportunity to maybe meet one day. So I do like to travel. I just, unfortunately, my trips anymore are um, much shorter. I'm not interested in flying across the country anymore than I have to. So once or twice a year to see the grandkids pretty much gets me done. I think I have more anxiety than I used to when it comes to flying. They just, they make flying so tough, so miserable. It's not fun. There's nothing fun about um, flying and being part of that process. Sorry, I am anal enough that that kind of stuff bothers me. I have to pick that up. All right, so look, getting the black border on. So let's see if we can get the long borders on and done before the live is over tonight. We'll see how that works. Russ says it's not a race unless you're doing a jelly roll race. Yes, and I started seeing that video this morning, and then something else happened, and I did not get to watch that video. I do have it in my queue to watch. I caught up with a lot of Stephanie and Russ and Sean and all of them on the airplane because I did download because I pay for a subscription to YouTube, not YouTube TV, but just YouTube Premium, which allows me to download a bunch of stuff. So I was able to do that and watch uh, watch the downloads. And Russ is so politically correct. So they said the charities won. Trying to figure out who won the race, and it comes back at the charities won. Come on, Russ. I know Steven, the idiot quilter, said he wasn't racing, so it wasn't going to be there. Oh, Sally likes margaritas. I like my Jimmy Buffett margarita maker. So we make good margaritas. So Natural Tendency must have got her onions all chopped up, and now she's on her way to peppers. I have to, we do fajitas in the oven. So we put them on a aluminum foil sheet pan with either the steak or the diced chicken and mix them with green peppers, onions, mushrooms, and all of that, and spread it out on a cookie sheet for like, I think it's 20 minutes at 450, 425 in the oven, and they come out amazing. And they're just so easy, and it's something not hard to clean up, and it's just a good meal. I do cheat. I like Mexican rice, and I have never been able to make Mexican rice. And so I actually found Rice-A-Roni has a Mexican rice, and it's actually one of my favorites. I know that because last time Walmart had Old El Paso on sale, Mexican rice, and I bought theirs and realized I do not like Old El Paso Mexican rice. So, so it's interesting. She's making fajitas tonight, and we're having tacos tonight. The kids growing up, we used to always have tacos on Sunday night. The kids always wanted tacos on Sunday night. So somehow that became a thing for us. And so that was a big part of their childhood. So, and I did hear from my son for Father's Day. He sent me a meme that said Happy Father's Day. And of course, I got to be with my daughter and her family. So it was a very happy Father's Day last Sunday. It's hard to think that's already in the books and done for 2024. But you know what's not in the books and not done for 2024? Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas. I actually brought home, while we were at the storage unit today, I brought home my July 4th wreath. So our house, my house is totally decorated right now for Pride. And so I need to take that all down this weekend, this coming weekend. I'll leave it up through the end of the month, but and we'll be switching over to July 4th. So before we leave to go up to Shady Pines, I will make sure that everything is cleaned and updated for July 4th. Then here, July 4th, I only keep July 4th up, um, the patriotic stuff in that, through early August. So interesting enough, by the middle of August, I switch my house completely to my mind just went blank. Fall. So I do starting by around August 15th, I switch everything to the fall apples and all that kind of stuff. I love the fall colors. I do that because I want to be able to enjoy the fall for a little bit before I have to switch right over to Halloween. And as always, I want to make sure I have enough Halloween time. So because of that, I uh, I tend to put my fall up early. It's funny, the neighbors are like, it's not quite fall weather yet. I'm like, man, that's your opinion. Be fall whenever I say it's fall. It's mine. So that is how we do it. Hey, Vera from Texas, thanks for joining us tonight. Sally says, now I want Mexican food. Y'all keep talking about Mexican. Oh, Katrina says they used to go to the ice cream store. So interesting enough, when my kids were younger, I was the children's choir director when they were growing up. And so we always did church on Sunday morning, church on Sunday night. We always had Mexican food for lunch at the local Mexican restaurant, and they all knew us, and we had our own table when we went in because John ate there way too much. And then, but after church, all of us would take the kids and go to Dairy Queen. So it was interesting. We always had a crowd of us at Dairy Queen, and it's funny to say that because my daughter was just talking about those type of memories. It's just funny raising the kids. You don't realize what memories you're making and what things still mean a lot to them. And so it's fun having her as an adult now. She's such a good mother and such an amazing woman. And then to um, see what she's done with her children and what memories they're making and what I may be able to be part of. But I do know I made a good memory last week with having little Ava Lynn on the live. She just thought that was the most awesomest thing that Papa John could do. So, how incredible that I was able to be there and do that for her. So, just something I would have never thought about. Russ says, now I want ice cream. If you remember too, 2, 3 weeks ago when I was at the park home after the live, I had to get off so I could go get ice cream at Dairy Queen, which if you remember, I think took 40 minutes. They were lined up down the street. It was crazy. And yet the problem was the way their parking lot and all that is set up. It's like once you're in and you're in line, there's like to just go, okay, well, I'm not really going to wait 40 minutes for a blizzard. You're going to because there's really no way out. So that made things a little bit more challenging, and so it was interesting. So yes, I waited 40 minutes for a blizzard. I would have never thought in my life I would have waited that long to have a blizzard, but I did, and it was good. It's the new cookie blizzard that's made with chocolate chip cookies, Oreos, and Nutter Butters. Oh my god, it was amazing. Not that I needed the calories, and I'm sure when I go get my blood work for my diabetes, the doctor may not agree that I needed that either. But sometimes you just feel like you got to have something. And that was the weekend that Curtis didn't go to the park home, which made it nice because I got to be a bachelor. And when I get to be a bachelor, I get to do all those things that my mother told me I couldn't do as a child. And one of those things was I couldn't have ice cream for dinner. And as a grown adult, I can have ice cream for dinner. And I did. What was funny is I asked the girl, I said, I'm sure this is driving you nuts. Like, people waiting 40 minutes in the drive through trying to get blizzards and that. And she tells me, oh no, it was busier the day before and they literally had people driving off because they were waiting over 2 hours to get a blizzard. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm quite that dedicated, but I didn't think I was 40 minutes dedicated either. So I guess it's amazing what we'll do for ice cream sometimes. So I don't know. We do what we got to do sometimes. And then we'll see. Barb says her house is a 3-minute walk to Dairy Queen. See, how awesome is that? Jody said that would be dangerous. I agree. We have one here in our retirement community, and it's not a 3-minute walk. It's probably a 3-minute drive, maybe a 5-minute drive, and that's bad enough. And I have to really think about it and be careful because that's not what I should be doing. And I know better, and I try to be better. But I I can so easily get myself in trouble, and when I do, I just do. But that's okay. I have promised Russ when he comes out, if he comes out for QuiltCon, we're going to take him to Filiberto's, and that is the most important thing. So he likes Mexican as well. So we will make sure that he gets a Filiberto fix while on vacation. I have to put in for that vacation time tomorrow too. I'll make sure. My boss goes, "Why do you put your vacation in like 6 months in advance?" Because I want to make sure my team knows when I'm around, when I'm not going to be around. And other people it's funny how they procrastinate. Like we know we're probably going back to Myrtle Beach the third week of June. I like to have that stuff booked early. Um, because I don't want to have to worry about, oh, this one wants off now and this one wants off. Now, I don't even wait till the start of the new year. I go on and book it now. Unfortunately, the systems that we have allow us to do that, which makes life much easier. All right. I'm talking, cutting, and sewing all at the same time, which I never thought I would be able to do. Hopefully, this is turning out cute and straight. That's one long seam. And yes, I am too lazy to pin everything, as you may have noticed. And it just seems to work for me. I think if I was doing a thicker quilt top, I may look at doing it a little bit different, but it is what it is. Vera said she thought the grandkids were precious and that Ava Lynn was a natural. By the way, we call her Ava Lynn because my middle name is Lynn, and that was one of the gifts when I found out they were pregnant. That my daughter wanted her named after me. Unfortunately, they didn't name her John; they named her Ava Lynn. So we always call her Ava Lynn, which is interesting. So they call her Ava more than we call her Ava Lynn. I have just always called her Ava Lynn. Some of the family does, so it's interesting. At times she'll go, "My name is Ava. Why do you always say Ava Lynn?" Honey, it's to your benefit that I say Ava Lynn because it just means you'll probably go get some more stuff that you don't need, but Papa John thinks you have to have. So my daughter's taught her to play along very well. So again, it all works out, right? So it is funny how we teach them different things and what does become important. So tonight, I noticed that Bridgerton now has new episodes available. So after I make dinner and we get the house cleaned up a little bit, I am watching at least one new episode of Bridgerton. So I am a Bridgerton fan. Never thought I would be, and I just love everything about Bridgerton. So I'm very excited that that's back on. Uh, so I was caught up. So I was glad to see they finally released some new episodes for me because I definitely needed those. So I will be watching that tonight. Interested in what other plans you all may have. It's interesting. And I appreciate you East Coasters joining because I know it's crazy for you all um, late out there. It's obviously not as late here. That's fine. And this time seems to be working for us really well. And so we appreciate you all joining later out there. And you all may be ready for bed by the time we get done. And that's fine too. It is what it is. And I know I say that way too much. But I just don't stress the small things anymore. I did that when I was young and had children. My daughter goes, "You don't stress like you used to." And I'm like, you finally get to an age where you go, it really isn't that important. The world still continues to revolve, and it doesn't matter that, you didn't have that pair of shoes that day, or you got to wear something else that you picked out. And um, yes, I was always one of those. We always had to be perfect as we walked out of the house, and I'm kind of glad that it's not me anymore. All right, so let's see how John did on the border. I think this is turning out really, really sharp. So I think that's going to make a cute quilt for Christmas. So that will be, so that's the black border. So I am done with that. And then the next thing I need to do is I ended up buying the stars and stripes border go with it because I just couldn't find anything that I really liked um, any better. And I just felt like this, all of this was just very dark. And I felt like it needed something to pop it. And so I ended up, I'm going to put a 2-inch border here with this. And I think that'll be cute. So it's meant to be a lap quilt for when they watch TV and that. She'll have hers, he'll have his, and hopefully they will be thankful. They will be here for my big birthday in December. I don't know what that looks like yet, but that remains to be seen. I have 6 months to figure out what I want for my big birthday celebration. Part of it will be going to the Hallmark Channel and doing their Hallmark Christmas up in Kansas City. So, guys, I, as always, so appreciate you all being here tonight. I see that we ran over an hour, but I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Thank you. I am very happy with that border. I think it's going to turn out great. I hope you all have an amazing week. I appreciate all the new subscribers, all the things that you all do. It's so fun just to be able to get on and just share with folks and not have true judgment in that. It's just amazing the YouTube family that we're developing, and it just means so much. So, with that said, as always, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the live. And until next time, happy crafting.